Well, hello and welcome. If you're joining us, you are exactly in the right place. I'm Joe Cipriano, and we just started the live feed. It looks like we're up on Facebook, we're up on LinkedIn and YouTube, but Twitter is giving us a problem, and so is Instagram. So it looks like we may not be there, but I did put up a link to the YouTube feed so that you can go to YouTube. I encourage you guys to drop in some comments, like Dean Vince, who just said, "I'm so excited. I'm so excited." Well, welcome to the Be Kind and Rewind 1990s VHS video playback party. Tonight is the beginning of something that I hope we'll be doing on Thursday nights. I might have a really good reservation at a restaurant, and we go, maybe we won't do it tonight. But I'm hoping we'll do it a bunch. It's a gathering. It's a watch party. It's a trip back to one of the most iconic eras in television history, the 1990s. And the 90s are hot, right? Now, I want you guys to be a part of this broadcast too, just like Dean Vince and Michael. Hello, Michael. Great to be here. I hope you guys have questions and thoughts as we dig into the 1990s and we talk about television. So we want you to chime in. And wherever you are, you should be able to do that in the comments of any of your locations, and then they'll show up here in the broadcast studio. Tonight, we're going to rewind to the very beginning of the Fox network. And I was a pretty lucky fella because I was there in the beginning. I started at Fox in August of 1988. It's a long time ago. I was brought on to be the voice of all the Fox comedies for the entire decade of the 1990s and into the new millennium. I was that voice on all of the promos, all of the comedy promos. So back when Fox was still the new kid on the block, they weren't really sure how long everything was going to last. I mean, they said, don't get too excited about this gig because it's August and you may be done by December. Let's go, JoJo. David Alden right there. David, I'm glad you're here. You were there, Dave. And we're going to talk about CBS too. Besides being the voice of the Fox network for the decade of the 1990s, I also was the comedy voice of the CBS network for half of the decade and into the new millennium. Same thing for the Fox network. And the reason for that is relationships. Ron Scalera, who was one of the heads of promos at the Fox network, was hired by CBS, by Les Moonves at the time, when Les and the people in charge at CBS started to notice, this was like by 1997, okay? So Fox had been on the air for 10 years. That's like, you know what? This Fox idea of going young and having fun, and we're the blue-haired old lady network, I think we ought to make some changes. So Ron Scalera was brought over to CBS to recreate the marketing for all of the new programming that Les Moonves and the programming folks were planning, like Everybody Loves Raymond and other shows like that, eventually King of Queens, but they were going to go for a younger audience. And so Ron went over there to head up marketing. And I remember he was there for a couple of weeks, and he said, every time I pop in a voiceover demo as we're trying to choose our drama and comedy promo voices, I keep hoping it's going to sound like you. And he said, but they don't. And he said, today I realized, why don't I just hire you? And he hired me on that phone call. And Fox, by then I had been with them for 9 years plus. They pushed back, but I did not have a contract. We work as independent contractors. Your last session could be your last, literally. They pushed back. They say, you can't do that. And my agent, the lovely Rita Venari, said, well, yes, we can, unless you want to do something about it. If you want to put them under an exclusive contract, we could start talking about, the details of that. And they said, well, let's not be crazy here. And so they allowed it to happen. I was the comedy voice of Fox and the comedy voice of CBS for the same time, overlapping maybe about 9 years from 1997 into 2000. And it was weird because back then when people used to listen to car radios, you'd be in the car, I'd be in the car, zipping around from my Fox session to my CBS session and to whatever, listening to Kiss FM. And, the commercial breaks would come on and there's me doing a Fox promo and that runs for 30 seconds. And then boom, it goes into a CBS promo and it's me again. It was really bizarre. And then after that, I also did a few years as the drama voice of the NBC network. So during this whole, back to the 90s and our VHS playbacks, by the way, let me put it out of the machine. Everything is on VHS and I am playing them from VHS in here. So you probably will see the wrinkles and things like that from the tape. And so we'll do stuff with CBS programming, do some stuff with NBC programming, but it's all about the 90s. So going back to that, being at Fox at the very beginning, I had really a front row seat to one of the biggest shifts in television history. So let's talk a little bit about the Fox story, the Fox network's beginnings. Fox launched actually in 1987. And this is something that people forget. They didn't launch like the big three networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS. They didn't have a full week of programming, not even close. In the beginning, Fox only had on the air 2 nights a week. They started with Sunday nights, launching with shows like Married with Children, The Tracy Ullman Show, which we're going to be talking a lot about because, of course, that's where The Simpsons show came from. Then they added Saturday nights for a period of time. There was a show called Mr. President, which was produced by the Johnny Carson Company, very expensive show to produce. The star of it was George C. Scott, so you can imagine how much he was being paid to do that. They moved it from Sunday to Saturday to kind of anchor Saturday, and they had a horror series called Werewolf and a couple other little things. But Sunday nights had 21 Jump Street, Duet. If you remember Duet, it later changed and rebranded to being called Open House. What happened was the two leads of Duet, they thought the story was going to be about them. And then there were the supporting leads, another couple. Everybody loved the supporting couple. And they decided, you know what? We're going to do a little switcheroo here. And they made the supporting couple the lead, and the lead people went to supporting, and they changed from Duet to Open House. Married with Children was on Sunday nights, Tracy Ullman. And Fox was trying to find their footing. They're trying to build an audience. Nobody had ever done a fourth network before. Everybody in the business said, this is not gonna happen. They were trying to convince viewers to just sample, this fourth network. And let's see here. Bill. Hi, Bill. I was the younger audience. Yes, you were, Bill. And thank you for being there. That's great. So eventually, as the fourth network, they realized something pretty important that, okay, Saturday night is not where their future was. It just wasn't working. So we'll get back to that at some point, but they dropped it. And they focused their energy on building a must-watch Sunday night lineup. And that's when things started to change, because now Fox wasn't just experimenting. They were building an identity that was very, very different from the other networks. I mean, Fox was edgy, different, younger, rebellious, very, very different from CBS and ABC and NBC. And I came in, right, as their voice in 87, and I was the anti-network voice. ABC had Ernie Anderson, right, big, deep voice, the Love Boat. NBC had Danny Dark, who became a mentor of mine and just a wonderful fellow with a beautiful, rich voice. All the network promo voices of the era were older men, all with very deep voices going way back to the beginning of broadcasting when you had to have a deep voice. And I was the complete opposite of that. I was youngish. I was 32 years of age. I was a disc jockey on Los Angeles's #1 top 40 radio station, Kiss FM. And I had a voice that was the opposite of deep and old. And I took over voicing all of the promos for the Sunday night shows. And then about a year later, and what we're going to be digging into tonight was a momentous date, December 17th, 1989. So just a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks before this brand new decade was coming at us. This was the lead up to the 1990s. It was right before Christmas. Fox aired something that would change Fox and, to a certain extent, television forever. It was a half-hour animated Christmas special called Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. And it wasn't just another show. It really was a signal that Fox had arrived. And it was happening just before In Living Color. Yeah, Heath, another great show that I did promos for its entire run. But so now, because of this, Fox really had arrived. The Simpsons came from back in 87 when Fox launched. As I said, one of their early signature shows, that was the Tracy Ullman Show. It was a sketch comedy show, a mix of live action bits and characters and short segments. And James L. Brooks, who was one of the producers, wanted to add something different to the show to break up all of the sketches. Little animated pieces is what he was hoping to find. Something quick, something quirky and different. And he went to cartoonist Matt Groening, who, let's see if anybody remembers this, had a comic strip called Life in Hell every week in the LA Weekly newspaper. Does anybody remember the LA Weekly? And Life in Hell was in the back of LA Weekly. And Brooks wanted to adapt that comic strip directly. But Groening had a moment of hesitation. You know, he was very smart. He didn't want to give up his rights. He already owned the rights to this existing work. So now if he kind of throws that into the Fox bucket, and who knows where Fox is going, right? It's not the right thing to do. So right there in the waiting room, while he was about to have his meeting with James L. Brooks, he quickly sketched out a brand new family, a dad, a mom, 3 kids, and he named them after his own family, Homer and Marge and Lisa and Maggie and Bart, which was actually an anagram for brat. And those first animated shorts were very rough, very crude animation, a lot of jagged lines, lo-fi timing. They were about 30 seconds long. They ran as little bumpers between sketches and in and out of commercials on the Tracy Ullman Show. In fact, let me bring back one of my first VHS flashbacks here. Let's pop it in and take a look at what those early Simpsons bumpers looked like on the Tracy Ullman Show, going in and out of commercial breaks. Let me see if I can hit here's Tracy Ullman. Are you ready?
Get out there and get into shape, boy.
Yeah, Bart.
Bart.
What?
Move it.
Say, this ain't bad. Fresh air, beads of sweat. I can dig it. Pit stop. Afternoon, Mr. Chupo. I'm here for my dinner.
Wait a minute. I you know what? I watched this earlier, but it didn't dawn on me until just now. I just realized in that scene when Bart is running into the candy store, it's called Chupo's. I had to laugh, and I wonder if any of you guys know this, because there was an animation company in Hollywood, and I'm trying to remember. I used to drive by it all the time. I think it was at Fountain and maybe Highland. Maybe somebody can remember, but it was called Klasky Zupo, CSUPO. That store that we just looked at is Chupo's, CHUPOS. Another one of, those Simpsons inside jokes. All right, let me start this up again.
Get out there and get into shape, boy.
Yeah, Bart.
Bart,
What?
move it.
Say, this ain't bad. Fresh air, beads of sweat. I can dig it. Pit stop. Afternoon, Mr. Chupo. I'm here for my daily candy bar fix. Today, I think I shall have a chocolate cover.
Store's closed, kid. Now scram.
Hey, you're not Mr. Chupo.
I said scram.
Wait a minute. I demand the right to be served.
Congratulations, boy. You just earned yourself a big reward.
All I wanted was a measly candy bar.
Here we have Bart Simpson, the young lad who captured the notorious candy store bandit. How does it feel to be a hero, Bart?
Pretty damn good, Phil.
Your family must be proud of you right now.
I bet they're jumping up and down.
And the $10,000 reward.
10,000, big one! I love you, son!
What are you going to do with all that money?
I don't want the money. That's why I've asked for the reward to be paid in candy bars.
What will your family think?
And you can see how crudely animated the bits were, but something interesting happened, and as those continued to run, that whole the crudely animated, the jagged lines, it added to the charm. They stood out and they felt different. And again, they had the attitude. They had that Fox attitude about being different. And over the next year plus, Fox kept running all of those shorts inside of Tracy Ullman, about 48 of them in total. And slowly, this strange little animated family started to build an identity. And by 1989, this is when Fox made their big, bold move. They took that tiny, rough 30-second bumper that they were using and expanded that family, that idea, into a full half-hour primetime series. And that led to the date that we're talking about, December 17th, 1989, Simpsons roasting on an open fire. So what started as filler became the foundation of one of the most important shows in television history. Maybe that's pushing it a bit, but it's still on the air. It's certainly the biggest in Fox's history, and Fox has had a lot of crazy success. The crazy part of it is at the beginning, nobody knew just how big it was going to be. So how about if we take a look? I have several promos. Let's take a look at one of the very first promos that I voiced for the premiere of The Simpsons on Fox. And let me see if I can pull that up for you. I believe it's this one. Here we go.
The critics are hailing the arrival of The Simpsons.
They're pretty selective.
It's hilarious.
Jingle bells, Batman smells. Don't kill me, Dad.
Witty.
Ow! Quit it.
Irreverent.
Ow! Quit it.
A funny show.
When do we get paid?
The Simpsons Christmas Special, next. Tonight, celebrate the holidays with The Simpsons.
Jingle bells, Batman smells.
They're America's funniest new family.
I hope you feel better, Santa.
Oh, I will when Mrs. Claus's sisters get out of town.
The Simpsons Christmas Special. Then,
Please, somebody shoot me.
no wonder Al Bundy's life is so miserable. Look who he's got for a guardian angel.
Loser!
Sam Kinison guest stars on a 1-hour Married with Children right after The Simpsons tonight on Fox.
Wow. That Married with Children. We're definitely on one of these Thursday nights going to be digging into Married with Children and looking at those episodes. That Sam Kinison episode, it was amazing. Incredible. So Simpsons roasting on an open fire was not supposed to be the very first episode. The plan was to launch the series with an episode called Bart the Genius. That was meant to be the official premiere, probably sometime in December of '89. But as they were preparing the show for air, the producers ran into a serious problem. The animation for another episode, Some Enchanted Evening, which was actually the first episode that was produced. It was not going to be the first one shown, but it was the first one that came back from overseas. And this was the first time they were getting to look at the work that was happening, the animation, and it was a mess. It was so bad, in fact, that it was considered completely unusable. So they had to delay it and rework it and basically rebuild that entire episode. And that created a domino effect. Episodes were suddenly out of order. The original plan for how to launch the show was thrown off. Now Fox had a decision to make. They needed a strong debut, something that would feel like, a big event, something that would bring people in. And that's when they made a very smart move. Instead of just quietly launching the show with a regular episode like Bart the Genius, which they were planning on doing, they chose a holiday special, Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, a Christmas episode, a family story, something warm, something accessible, something that felt bigger than just another show. And also at the same time, it was a group of this family that was so outrageous, so ridiculous, and never been seen on television before in a Christmas sort of setting. So they scheduled it December 17th, 1989, right in the heart of the holiday season. But in the on-air promo marketing department, I don't know this for sure. I'm sure we're going to have people on who, over the next several weeks, who are in the department. I have one person who I really want to have on. But I'm sure there were many discussions on how do you promote this show, this wacky, offbeat group of characters now in a Christmas setting. America is going to see nuts, crazy people at Christmas. And so what do you do? How do you promote it? Do you go with outrageous, wacky, rebellious, do that angle? Or do you do a warm and fuzzy Christmas promo where people, can warm themselves up to these new characters? So actually, I think they kind of did both. And in fact, here's an example of that. I came across this promo online. My normal reads for Fox comedies, and I had been doing it now for over a year, were extremely energetic, upbeat, unconventional, unlike anything, not those deep old voices of the other networks. But on this spot that I'm going to play, they said, okay, it's a Christmas promo. Let's warm it up. Let's play it warm and fuzzy. So here you go.
Guess what the Simpsons, America's funniest new family, are getting for Christmas?
Pantyhose.
No, their very own TV special.
Cool.
So make your Christmas wish.
Hey, Santa, what's shaking, man?
Get into the holiday spirit.
Jingle bells, that means snow, frozen way. Don't kill me, Dad.
And join them for a night of laughs on the Simpsons Christmas special.
Homer and I are looking forward to your visit.
Tonight at 7:30 on Fox 29.
I love those tags. we had to leave 5 seconds at the end of the affiliate spots so that the local voice could come in. And when you see these on YouTube, and they include the local voices, and at this time Fox was only on UHF stations, except for maybe in New York and LA, because they were owned and operated. It was 11 and 5 in New York and 11 here. But really, really interesting. Let's see what David says. Oh, about Klasky Zupo. Zupo in Spanish slang means to suck her like a lollipop. There are also other more sexually explicit connotations, which I won't mention on the Family Network. Well, thank you very much, David. David Alden would know those things. He was the first post-production supervisor, which we called room producers at Fox. that I worked with David Alden at CBS when I did my very first sessions there, and continued to work with him for years and years and years and years and years. So premiering with Simpsons roasting on an open fire due to production problems actually turned into one of the smartest programming decisions Fox could have made, because instead of just launching a cartoon, they created an event television moment. And that's how The Simpsons didn't just premiere, it really arrived. And because there was a lot riding on the premiere of The Simpsons, this turned out to be very good for a guy like me. The show had a premiere so big that it meant so much that we did what seemed like hundreds of promos. Let me just say lots and lots of promos. Lots, as Don LaFontaine would say, lots of spots and tags. And by then, I had been the comedy voice of Fox, as I said, for just over a year. And for whatever reason, the network stuck with me. I never understood it, but they kept me throughout the 90s into the 2000s as their comedy voice. And also a little known guy by the name of Don LaFontaine. That's it. He was the drama voice. So Fox may have had only one night of programming. Can you believe this? They produced so many promos that Don and I saw each other every day. We worked 6 days a week voicing those promos. We would do Monday through Friday, and then there were always sessions that were on Saturday morning. And we'd drive in, and that was in the days when we would drive in. The Fox lot was at Wilton and Sunset, which was the old Metro Media lot. And it has now been knocked down years ago, and it is an LA Unified high school. So Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire had a lot of promos produced for that premiere. So let me see what else I have in my bag of tricks.
This Christmas, The Simpsons, America's funniest new family, are giving the perfect gift.
Pantyhose.
No, their TV special is back.
Cool.
So whether you missed it the first time,
Hey, Santa, what's shaking, man?
or you want to laugh again,
Jingle bells, Batman snow, frozen waves. Ah! Don't kill me, Dad.
be sure to treat yourself to this hilarious encore performance.
Homer and I are looking forward to your visit.
The Simpsons Christmas Special, tonight.
Tonight. Rob, I was never a special guest or featured on any of the shows. I did do some voices in some of the Fox comedies, like maybe a TV set in the background of a scene. I did do, and we'll talk about this when we get into Married with Children. Married with Children was incredibly popular, almost on a par with The Simpsons. And they would do live shopping mall appearances. And I was tapped to be the announcer for those, introduce the cast, bring up people to ask questions, and then they would, sign autographs and things like that. So we did several malls throughout Los Angeles. And that was a fun thing that I got to know the cast of Married with Children. Dean says, my parents took me to LA when I was 12, which would have been 1992. I remember I got free tickets to the Late Show at Fox. Oh, it wasn't Arsenio. No, it was, somebody's going to help me with this. It was Johnny Carson's stand-in who took the Fox gig. It was a woman, an amazing comedian, and I'm not remembering her name, unfortunately. And that's probably because I've got too much going on right now. But that's where we are. Somebody will tell me who it was. I bet Dave Alden will be able to tell me. Okay. So what we're doing here, this is the first. I know that, it's not going to be a lot of folks tuning in for this very first one, but it'll be, available to watch on demand. And hopefully we'll start to get more and more known and into it, and more people who are interested in television in the 1990s, just the whole vibe of the 1990s. We'll kind of find out what we're doing here. So we're starting something new. We'll watch a few scenes from the premiere episode of The Simpsons. Yes, David Alden, Joan Rivers. How can I not remember Joan Rivers? She was one of the first shows when I was first brought to Fox. They actually started me on Joan Rivers promos as a little practice. And then they said, yeah, this is good. And then they started adding more and more to my coffers, as they say. So I've got a few scenes. I'm being very careful about this. I don't want to get into any sort of issue with The Simpsons and running full episodes. So we're just going to show scenes. And I also have some behind the scenes stuff that I think that you guys would really be interested in. It's about the making of The Simpsons, interviews with Matt Groening and things like that. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But from right now, let's just sit back and relax. Let's just watch. This is only about a minute and a half. The beginning of Simpsons roasting on an open fire.
In Germany, Santa's servant Ruprecht gives presents to good children and whipping rods to the parents of bad ones.
Lisa Simpson as Tawanga, the Santa Claus of the South Seas.
Oh, it's Lisa. That's ours.
The fourth grade will now favor us with a medley of holiday favorites.
He sings like an angel. Oh, jingle bells, that man smells, Robin lays an egg. That little field broke its wheel, the Joker got a...
How many grades does this school have?
Our little cat Snowball was unexpectedly run over and went to kitty heaven. But we bought a new little cat, Snowball too. So I guess life goes on. Maggie is walking by herself. Lisa got straight A's. And Bart, well, we love Bart. The magic of the season has touched us all.
Marge, haven't you finished that stupid letter yet?
You will not be getting a tattoo for Christmas.
I'm actually, it's really cool to see the first episode. And, the drawing is so good. It almost looks exactly the same. I mean, obviously the technology has changed and all of that. But to go from, we watched those bumpers from Tracy Ullman, to go from that and then pretty quickly into full episodes of The Simpsons with an entirely different look. And of course, kind of a different family as well. Kind of, not really. I'm actually confusing that with the LA Weekly stuff. The episodics or the bumpers that were in Tracy Ullman were actually Homer and Marge and Bart and so forth. So this is interesting from Dean in Canada. We didn't get Fox or The Simpsons from the start. That's kind of cool. So it's interesting and very cool to watch this. Well, thank you. So let's see. How about we jump into a little behind the scenes, okay? And this was, we would do a lot of this kind of stuff at Fox, that they would use, the affiliates would use them and run them. They were kind of behind the scenes, how the show is done. Not only for The Simpsons, we would do it for pretty much all of the shows on Fox. And it gave the affiliates something to run on Saturdays or Sundays, during the day. They could be half hour or less. So I'm going to go and find this behind the scenes. Here we go. So let's sit back and relax. This is about 5 minutes. And then keep writing in your questions or comments. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you are, please hit like and follow so that we start to build a base. How about that? Let's go behind the scenes. This was done not by the Fox promo department. I think it was a department called, oh boy, I'll think about it. but it was an entirely different group of creative folks, different from Fox Promo, different from the end credits department, which was called Fox 21, something like that. We had separate divisions that would work on all of this different work. So let's go behind the scenes now for a few minutes.
Hey, yo, you want to see something really cool? Well, come here and I'll sneak you behind the scenes of my show.
The Simpsons phenomenon began when 12-time Emmy and 4-time Academy Award winner James L. Brooks got together with Simpsons creator Matt Groening and executive producer Sam Simon to bring animation back to prime time.
My drawing style definitely comes from school. It's a drawing style. It's based on being able to draw while not looking at what you're doing, so that the teacher thinks you're paying attention to the class. There, you see, pretty good.
But before the animation begins, a brilliant team of writers and producers develop the scripts for each episode.
The time we put into a script is probably 2 or 3 times what you would put into a standard script, even on a very good sitcom.
We have these retreats that we do, where we try and crack the season, where we all lock ourselves in a hotel room for around 10, 12 hours, and we work out maybe, a lot of the stories that we'll be doing during the year.
Oh, baby.
Then over the next few months, we develop those into scripts. Then the whole staff will rewrite it to get it in shape for the table reading.
Stupid roller skates.
Dad, I know I didn't hold up my end of the bargain, but can I go to Camp Krusty?
Yeah, sure. I didn't want you hanging around all summer anyway.
Started out with a kind of a Walter Matthau kind of voice like this, but it was too hard for me to yell and do some of the things that Homer goes up and down so quickly.
Yes, all right, woo!
I went down to a deeper register, which was easier for me. Hey, kids! Of course, Mayor Quimby was based, of course, loosely on the Kennedys.
Hi, Homer. How you doing? You should always drink to enhance your social skills.
I do Marge's whole family.
Do you think you'll ever get married?
Oh, I don't know. Why? You know somebody?
No.
I think that they're able to tell the truth more than on a regular television show. I've started a crusade against cartoon violence.
Perhaps I am the most like my character of any of us. I'm going to be 8 years old. It's a big number, almost double digit. Lisa has great hope for a world of sympathy and compassion.
I do Mr. Burns, Smithers, Otto, the school bus driver, Mr. Skinner. I've been told I've done as many as 15 in a given show.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Whatever Dan and Harry don't take, I kind of get.
Is Jacques there?
Who?
Jacques, last name Strap.
Hey, guys, I'm looking for a Jacques Strap.
Just knowing that I'm a part of cartoon history like this is great.
And they showed me a picture of what Bart looked like, and then you come up with a voice, and I said, well, this is Bart, and it just kind of came out.
Action!
Next, the actors record the voice tracks.
I no longer fear hell because I've been to Camp Krusty.
Kids' letters from camp.
Krusty is coming. Krusty is coming.
Great. Cut.
I know you've all been wondering where I get my incredible good looks. Obviously not from Homer.
Here at Klasky Csupo in Hollywood, a brilliant team of artists create that special Simpsons look.
After the voice tracks are done, we use both the script and the track to come up with the images that we need to tell the story. What we do in storyboard is we try to get a blueprint for the show.
The next step is to design characters and new background layouts. Then the exact colors for the characters and backgrounds are generated with the help of a computer. Then, the pictures are shot on what is called an animatic, which creates a blueprint of what will later be animated overseas.
Bart, you're my wife, and I love you very much, but you're living in a world of make-believe.
This is a cartoon show, but it's a lot less cartoony than a lot of animation.
We are left with a great deal of freedom as far as how the style of the show is going to be and how the camera work is going to be.
The entire production process for each episode takes 6 months. Then it's ready for the final touches, which include being scored by a full orchestra.
I think it makes the show seem more real. the various emotions take on much more meaning and much more depth. Acoustic music seems to do that.
Just from the moment it was on the air, people embraced it and appreciated it. So I see it as kind of a triumph of doing your work from that very pure place of just doing stuff that you personally enjoy.
The Simpsons, Thursdays on Fox. Sunday.
Is this thing on?
It's the Death Row comic in his farewell performance.
It's gonna be electrifying.
Sunday at 8 on Fox 31.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I didn't realize that was on the end. So actually, what that's from is from that affiliate. They had run it, and it was, and then went into their late night movie or whatever it is. That's pretty good. All right, so let's go back to Simpsons roasting on an open fire, and here's a little bit more. This is a little under 2 minutes from the very first episode of The Simpsons. Here we go.
You will not be getting a tattoo for Christmas.
Yeah, if you want one, you'll have to pay for it out of your own allowance.
All right.
Marge, please.
Who's this?
May I please speak to Marge?
This is her sister, isn't it?
Is Marge there?
Who shall I say is calling?
Marge, please. Homer and I are looking forward to your visit, too.
Good one, Dad. Nice try, Dad. Oh, you need a...
It's too bright. You're a blender. What a big show-off.
Turn around. You can look now. It's the best present a mother could get, and it makes you look so dangerous.
How old are you?
21, sir.
Get in a chair.
Ay, caramba.
Now, whatever you do, boy, don't squirm. You don't want to get this sucker near your eye or your groin.
Ow, quit it. Ow, quit it. Ow, quit it. Ow, quit it.
Hey, what's with this?
Ow, quit it.
It's true! The jar is empty! Oh, my God! We're ruined. Christmas is canceled.
We'll just have to stretch your Christmas bonus even further this year.
Ah! Ooh, look! Pantyhose. Practical and alluring. Ooh, that's a paper. I bet Bart can think of a million things to do with these. A little squeak toy.
Oh my gosh. It is just so great to go back and watch this and relive it. I mean, really, this is the very beginning of one of the biggest stories in network television, and the amount of seasons that they've had. It's just incredible. We got this here from Chris. Enjoyed the behind the scenes. Did you ever record promos for an early Fox show called The New Adventures of Beans Baxter? I was a featured extra in a couple of the episodes, late 80s. I don't remember that show, Chris. Are you sure it was on Fox? We could do a little research on that. I'm sure you can do a little Google search on that. Let's see. Fox went on in 87, so this had to be somewhere around 87, 88, 89. Let me just pop in here. Beans Baxter. There it is, New Adventures, and see what we got here. Wikipedia says production was in Vancouver. It was on Fox. November 28th, 1987. So yeah, I would not have done that because I didn't start until 88. But I'd love to go back and check out a few of those episodes. Kelly, are you reading to the screen on the early ones? Yes, not only on the early ones, on all of them, unless we were doing something remotely, ISDN and of course now Source Connect and IPDTL and so forth, where we're not in the studio, but we were at the individual studios, multiple studios, and always reading to picture. The behind the scenes that I showed you, that was a read to picture. It wasn't at Fox. They booked a studio somewhere and we went there. So yeah, everything was read to picture, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the best way to do promos. And I agree, Dean. Seeing the table reads and seeing those voices coming out of their mouths is always the best. It's just so great. Let me jump in here to, let's take a look at something. This would have been around 1989. Does anybody remember the Gary Shandling show? Great show. I did the promos for it. I loved that show. It was before his HBO show. And I thought this was such a creative show. Let's see. This is a promo for it.
Sunday, is Gary Shandling's best friend out of his mind?
Gary, kiss my...
Hey, is the audience over the edge?
You're gonna get us thrown out of here.
Is Gary's dream hat the answer, or just another nightmare?
Oh, my head, Jackie!
Then Tracy Ullman lets you in on Francesca's latest scheme. And meet a sweet old lady who's about to shock her family by breaking out.
Sunday, starting at 8 on KDNL.
We got to start looking up these KDNL. Where is that? Where is KDNL? KDNL television is where? Looks like it's in Sinclair, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis. All right. Very good. There is a great Twitter feed that I recommend you guys check out. It's called On This Day in Simpsons History, and I've gotten to speak with the gentleman who runs it. He puts up promos all the time. So I have a promo. I actually have two that he put up just recently. Today's the 30th, right? April 30th. He put this up yesterday. 36 years ago today, April 29th, 1990, the Simpsons episode Krusty Gets Busted first aired on Fox, guest starring Kelsey Grammer in his first appearance as Sideshow Bob. So let me bring this up and pull this back here and play it for you.
Sunday. He's my idol. I've based my whole life on Krusty's teaching.
Homer puts Bart's hero
It's the guy from TV.
behind bars.
I sincerely hope that the horrible stories I heard about what goes on in prison are exaggerated.
The Simpsons. Then, Kelly lands a job as a weather forecaster. Look! Making more money than Al.
Oh, yeah, life's fair.
Married with Children right after The Simpsons. All new episodes Sunday.
How great was Married with Children, and what they did. Oh my God, it was absolutely awesome. I'm going to bring in another one here. Let me see if I can find the correct new. No, that's not it. That's not it. There it is. Let's bring this in. And let me go read about this. This also is from the Twitter feed On This Day in Simpsons History. This was posted 2 days ago, April 28th. 32 years ago today, a collection of early guest stars congratulated The Simpsons on their 100th episode. And wow, do I remember doing the 100th episode and the celebration around that at Fox, which was so cool. So let me bring this up. I think this is pretty cool. Let's take a look.
To a very special Simpsons Celebration Hour featuring the 100th episode, the very first Simpsons episode. Way to go, Homer! And surprise celebrity tributes.
Are you comfortable in there, Luke Perry?
You know, I've been shot out of a lot of cannons in my day, but it's nothing like the first time. Congratulations to the Simpsons on their 100th episode.
The Simpsons 100th episode celebration continues.
Now I'd like to turn things over to our Grand Marshal, Mr. Leonard Nimoy.
To everyone in the sleepy town of Springfield,
Weren't you one of the little rascals?
may you live long and prosper.
The Simpsons 100th episode celebration continues.
Hello, Kelsey Grammer here.
You have such a beautiful voice.
Guilty as charged. Felicitations to the people who bring The Simpsons to life. May you make 100 more.
The Simpsons 100th episode celebration continues.
Hi, Danny DeVito here to congratulate the Simpsons on their 100th show.
Unky Herb, can I spit over the side?
Knock your brains out. Thank God I'm not related to him in real life.
The Simpsons 100th episode celebration continues.
Hi, I'm Joe Montana, wishing the Simpsons all the best on their 100th episode.
I am thrilled.
And as Fat Tony would say,
Thanks for making me an offer I couldn't refuse.
The Simpsons 100th episode celebration continues.
Look, it's Tony Bennett.
I'd like to take this moment to sing the praises of the Simpsons. Hey, good to see you. Congratulations on your 100th show.
The Simpsons 100th episode celebration continues.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Let's bring that down and bring this back. That's a lot of spots. That boy, it was a good gig. It was a lot of fun. I got to tell you, yeah, I agree, Heath. Good stuff there. So I do highly recommend On This Day in Simpson History. Go check it out on Twitter. He puts up some awesome stuff. What else do I have here? Oh, I have one more promo. You know, they reran Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, the very first, the Christmas special, many times. This was a promo for one of those replays. And gosh, I can't remember how many they did, but they did rerun it a lot.
If you're one of the millions who enjoy spending Christmas with the Simpsons,
Jingle bells, Batman smells.
now you can spend every Sunday with them.
What a nightmarish concept.
They'll startle you.
Eat my shorts.
They'll touch you. I forgive you.
Wait a minute. Do you know what this really is? I'm going to start that again. Boy, it's loud. We need a compressor. This was after they ran the Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. It did good numbers. They ran it again. And now they're promoting the fact that the show is continuing. So that's what this promo is all about.
If you're one of the millions who enjoy spending Christmas with the Simpsons,
Jingle bells, Batman smells.
now you can spend every Sunday with them.
What a nightmarish concept.
They'll startle you.
Eat my shorts.
They'll touch you. I forgive you, Bart.
I'd forgive you too if you'd use a breath mint.
Are you laughing? But mostly they'll make you laugh.
It ain't over till the fat lady who sings.
Is that one fat enough for you, son?
The Simpsons, premiering next Sunday on Fox.
That's great. All right. We're coming to kind of a wrap up here. So I'm looking forward to doing this. I kind of figured this was the first one that I did, that it was going to be a little chaotic and a mishmash of things. Hopefully it'll get better as we go on. And like I said, I would like to, have some guests who were there at Fox in the early days. I'd love to have the heads of promo who were there. We can put this away now. Isn't that a great sound? You don't hear that sound anymore. And when it would go in, it's good stuff. And covers. You had to have a cover. Yeah. So yeah, it would be great to have some guests on to talk about their experiences. And I'd love to have you guys on to talk about your experiences. Like Dean was talking about being in Canada, and it was a different experience there. Everybody was at a different age. I mean, like I said, when I started, I was 32. A lot of you guys, many of you weren't born, in 1989. My daughter was born in 84, Dana, and my son was born in 1987, Alex. So when I started in 89, I had like almost a 2-year-old. I think I had a 2-year-old. Alex was 2 and Dana would have been 5. They both have children. Dana has 3. My son has 1. And she's here right now. And I'm going to go help my wife give her a bath. And that's going to wrap up our 1990s throwback. I want to thank you guys for showing up. This will be available for on demand. And we'll be back here again next week. I haven't decided what we're going to do next week. If we're going to stick with the Simpsons or go to Married with Children, that might be fun. I may do something like that, but of course, I'll let you know on the socials. And I appreciate you guys being here. Looking forward to more VHS FTW. That's right, baby. Thanks for the trip down memory lane. Looking forward to the series. Super duper. Oh, Chris, I worked for 3 Fox stations over my 36-year TV career. That's a lot of Simpsons episodes. My sister had a featured role in Married with Children, Ride Scare at the same time. Great memories. That's awesome, Chris. Thank you. And Bill, thanks for the nostalgia hit. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's very cool. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. And like I said, follow wherever you are. I got to figure out what's wrong with Twitter. Apparently, I think you have to have a pro account. And LinkedIn, apparently LinkedIn Live, connecting with what I'm on, this is StreamYard, sometimes is a bit of an issue. So I'll look into that. Like I said, first episode, chaos. But I think we did okay. And how do you like my place? It's a lot of freaking VHS in here. All right. I'm saying goodbye. See you next week, Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Ciao.